Today I'm putting every school's best player of all time back on the team in their prime so we can see who the greatest college football player of all time truly is. This means Cam Newton is back on Auburn, Johnny Manziel and Mike Evans are back on Texas A&M, Joe Burrow is back on LSU with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and players like Calvin Johnson, Ricky Williams, Lamar Jackson, and Reggie Bush are back at their alma maters as well. But that's not all, because I have over 136 legends I've put into the game today, one on every single team in the game, because we want to see who the greatest of all time is, boys. So be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down below, and tell me who your favorite college football player of all time is, and who do you think is going to end up being the GOAT in this video. And speaking of which, on the Heisman watch, we've got Marcus Mariota, Julio Jones, Devontae Smith, and Derrick Henry on here. Yeah, Alabama's going to be super stacked in this video. And then some dude named Austin Best is on here. He's not a legend, he's just here. But this is going to be important because we're going to simulate through 3 full seasons and track the national championship winners, all of the stats leaders, and the Heisman winner every single season, and see what player ends up with the most accolades out of every legend in this video. And before each of those seasons, I'll have to predict the Heisman winner as well as the national championship winner. And if I don't get any prediction correctly, I'm giving away $100 in gift cards to some of my subscribers in the comment section down below. So be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and notifications on, and comment down below what team you want me to show off in the next video, because I'm definitely going to miss out showing some legends in this video. There's just so many, but it literally took me like 12 hours to put all these players in the game, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. But like I said, I've put the best player of all time back on their original college, so let me take you through a few of those guys before we get into the first season and my pick for the Heisman and national championship winner. We've got Patrick Peterson back on LSU secondary. We've got 97 overall Malik Willis on Liberty. Aaron Rodgers is back on Cal. Jadeveon Clowney is going to tear up offensive lines on South Carolina again. Travis Hunter is back at Colorado. Reggie Bush is on USC again. We've got 99 overall Andrew Luck on Stanford. Speaking of Andrew Luck, RG3 is back on Baylor. Jameis Winston is on FSU. Steve Young is at BYU. The 2-time Heisman winner Archie Griffin is back at Ohio State. Emmitt Smith is on Florida Gators. Saquon's on Penn State. We've got Baker Mayfield on Oklahoma again. Josh Allen's on Wyoming. And Trevor Lawrence, minus his golden locks, is back on Clemson. But like I said, I've put over 136 custom legends back in the game, and we will be going through every player that gets the best stats, so we're going to be seeing a lot of players that I haven't even shown yet, so be sure to stick around. And without further ado, boys, let's get into our first season. I've also been sure to turn the transfer portal off, because the last time I did this video in College Football 25, people transferred everywhere and it got crazy. But 1,000 likes on this video, and I'll do this video again, but we'll have the transfer portal on so any player can go to any team. But for season 1, we're going to start with LSU, my favorite college football team, because I think LSU is going to win the national championship this season, and I think they're going to have the Heisman winner, whether that be Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, or Justin Jefferson. I think one of those guys will be in Heisman contention. And again, if I don't get any of my predictions right, I have to give $100 in gift cards away to my subscribers. So again, be sure to comment down below. But we're coming out on first down against Rice in week 1 of the season. We have Justin Jefferson left side of the field, who's going to come down with the catch. And now in the red zone, I want to get a good start off for LSU so they can try and get a Heisman winner. We'll see how it goes though, and we're going to have a touchdown. Jamar Chase, back-to-back plays to our number 1 and number 2 wide receiver is amazing. But one thing I will say throughout this video is you guys are going to notice that some numbers are off, some heights are off, stuff like that. And that's because the College Football 26 customization in Dynasty is horrendous compared to College Football 25s. I really hope they patch it, but please forgive me if any numbers are off or anything. It's because it's so glitchy in this game. Some numbers will change, some people's customization will change. It's really bad, and I really hope EA fixes it. And we're going to get a touchdown to Jamar Chase while I'm telling you guys all about that. And LSU is going to win its week 1 game against Rice 34-26. The defense is looking a little suspect, and the offense did not play that great in the second half, but alas. And now we're just going to simulate to the bowl games and start the college football playoffs, and we're going to watch each of the most important games during the playoffs and the most exciting ones, depending on what big name legends are in each game. And in the first season of our Legends simulation, Joe Burrow would lead our team with 3,073 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, while Justin Jefferson would put up 881 yards, 9 touchdowns, and Jamar Chase will put up 797 yards and 5 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Patrick Peterson would get 5 interceptions, so those stats were not even close to the best in the nation. As Jalen Hurts would be our best legend QB this season with 4,390 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, while Jameis Winston put up a respectable 3,951 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, and Michael Penix would put up 3,871 yards and 35 touchdowns to go with 9 picks. As for rushing, Saquon Barkley would get 1,600 yards on the ground and 14 touchdowns, and Ricky Williams would get 1,539 yards and 24 touchdowns. But not to be outdone, Reggie Bush would have 1,465 yards and 21 touchdowns, and Eric Dickerson on SMU would have 1,333 yards and 19 touchdowns. And the two-time Heisman winner Archie Griffin would put up 1,139 yards and 12 touchdowns. As for receiving, another Alabama star would lead, with Devontae Smith getting 1,275 yards and 11 touchdowns, while Julio Jones put up 1,240 yards and 9 touchdowns. But ultimately, none of our LSU players won the Heisman, as Jalen Hurts wins the Heisman with his incredible season and his very stacked Alabama team. But just to be transparent, a ton of our legends are freshmen this year, so they aren't starting yet, so next season is when things are going to get crazy. And not only did LSU not have a Heisman winner, they aren't even in the playoffs, as we went 8-4. We lost to Mississippi State, we lost to Texas, we lost to Georgia, and we lost to Cam Newton and Auburn, which honestly, yeah, fair. As for the Heisman list, Jalen Hurts is on here, and Michael Vick is at number 4, who also had a tremendous season. And the college football playoff bracket has teams like Alabama, Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, Georgia, and Oregon. Pittsburgh having Larry Fitzgerald, and Georgia having Todd Gurley, AJ Green, and Matt Stafford. So Georgia could win this, we'll see. Don't give up hope on TCU though. LaDainian Tomlinson is a monster for them. And Alabama and Oregon end up making it to the national championship. So let's pop in and see just how crazy this game gets. We're gonna watch the first drive from each team, and then we're gonna watch the end of the game as well, if it gets close. Jalen Hurts hands the ball off to Derrick Henry, who's gonna try and spin and get 4 yards. Derrick Henry on a motion route, swing pass to the right side. Jalen Hurts looking for someone to get open, and he's gonna get a first down to Devontae Smith, who is number 7, by the way, because once again, the customization options in this game are very bad. EA, please fix them. Jalen Hurts hands off again to Derrick Henry, who's gonna get stuffed in the backfield, but there's a flag, and it's against Alabama. Gosh, what a crazy season for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts back in the pocket, 2nd and 16. He's gonna throw it over the middle, and it's gonna be dropped. Jalen Hurts going back to throw once again. He's gonna get a completion, but it's gonna be 4th down, and they're gonna punt. Marcus Mariota coming out on the field. This is an insane matchup. I'm very interested in seeing how Mariota does. When we did this last year, he had LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas, but this time it's just Mariota, so we'll see what he can do, and not much on that play. Mariota back to pass. He's not going to scramble around this time. He's going to throw a strike over the middle and pick up 5 yards. 3rd and 8 for Oregon. They're going to be doing a screen pass to the right side. Mariota throws it deep right, and it's a 1st down. Oregon literally exactly on the 50-yard line, handing it off right side, cutting it up, and he's going to get 6 yards. Also, if you guys are enjoying this, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that a ton. Marcus Mariota is going to get a completion right there, 3rd and inches. And be sure to tell me what player I should add to your favorite college of all time, and I'll keep adding players. If we get 2,000 likes in this video, I'm going to put the best QB of all time on every school for the sequel to this video. And hopefully we can get up to like 1,000 legends like we did in College Football 25. Marcus Mariota back in the pocket. You're going to throw it left side. Check down. He's going to get out of that and get a huge 16-yard gain. In the red zone right here. Throws a screen pass. Running back trucks the guy's soul out of his body and gets 7. 3rd and 3 here. If they convert this, they keep their touchdown hopes alive, and they're going to be down on the 1, 1st and goal. Marcus Mariota is cooking in this game. He may go down as our first national championship legend winner of this video. Hands it off. It's going to be an option. Mariota into the end zone. We're going to see how the rest of this game goes, as Alabama is kind of pouring it on Oregon right now. They're going to go up 21-7 out of nowhere, and things just changed drastically. I've never seen a win like that in my entire life. Alabama, though, wins the first natty. Jalen Hurts wins a Heisman and a national championship in the first season of the simulation. That's going to be hard to top. 56 points on Marcus Mariota's dome is crazy. Jalen Hurts had 82% completion percentage and 400 yards, man. Derrick Henry had 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. Good Lord. And going to season 2, we're going to change it up a little bit, and we're going to move over to Auburn as our team that I think is going to win the Heisman or a national championship. One of those. Because 99 overall Cam Newton is going to be very, very hard to stop, and I just don't see any team stopping him, much like in 2010. As for our year 2 Heisman watch, we have Michael Vick, Marcus Mariota, Johnny Manziel, Peyton Manning, and Tim Tebow. Okay, so that is real. I am seeing that. Okay, College Football 26. Little confused about what happened here, but that's Peyton Manning and that's Tim Tebow. Also, their heights are completely off now as well, but we're just gonna roll with it. That's the way things go, man. This game is so broken. And our week 1 game is going to be against Duke, who has Daniel Jones at QB. Not because he's the best player from Duke ever, but kind of for the memes. You know, I want to see a 95 overall Daniel Jones tear it up a little bit. That would be funny. We're going to get a first down, though, almost on the first play with Cam Newton. Now, the thing about Cam Newton was he could run, he could throw, he could run through you, he could run around you, and he could do that. A throw on the run for a huge first down to Boye right there past the 50. Now, I may be an LSU fan, but Cam Newton is my favorite college football player of all time. He was the first, college football player I really ever watched because I was too young for any other time. So having Cam Newton back in college football is super fun to see for me. We're going to try and cook a little bit more. We're going to roll to the left again. They just cannot do anything, and we're going to try and run for a touchdown with Cam Newton. Truck through a guy, bowl him over, first down. Cam Newton in the pocket. We might have a touchdown on the drag route, and we do. That's going to give us the lead against Duke. In the second quarter here, we're up 10-3. We're going to score on this drive right here if we can, and someone's wide open. Number 17, Watkins for 6. And in the fourth quarter here, Duke has actually kind of climbed back into this, so we're going to have to come out here with Cam Newton again and try and get some yards, get a score on the board here and a first down. I think one more score with Cam will probably seal us the win, but you can never be too sure. No one's getting open right now. Oh my goodness. Am I using 2010 Auburn for real? Dodged by Cam Newton for the first. We're gonna roll out again. Let's motion that guy up. We might have a play here. First down to Bouye. Cam with a great start to the season. If we can just score on this drive, he's gonna have 4 5 total touchdowns or something like that this game. Let's see if we can get it. Drag route wide open. Get to the pylon, and he's in. Huge win for Auburn over Danny Dimes. Great start to the season for Cam Newton. Can he win the Heisman, though? This season is the real question. He puts up 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 82% completion percentage. Unreal. And Titus Honeycutt wins Defensive Player of the Week for the SEC. And now it's time to sim to the end of the season. Let's see how good the stats are this year. I'm so excited to see this. And in an unbelievable season where tons and tons of records were set and players broke the wall of what most thought was possible in college football, Cam Newton put up 3,611 yards and 41 touchdowns to go with 3 picks. And he also put up 758 yards on the ground with 9 more touchdowns. Jalen Hurts had another amazing year, putting up 4,540 yards, 47 touchdowns and 2 picks. Johnny Manziel put up 42 touchdowns with 4,342 yards passing. Patrick Mahomes had a great year, putting up 43 touchdowns. Tom Brady put up 45 touchdowns for Michigan. Vince Young put up 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns. And Ian Asajo put up 3,794 yards and 22 touchdowns. He's not one of our legends. It just sounded like a fun name to say. Baker Mayfield and Matt Ryan, though, also had some solid years. And Peyton Manning put up 5,705 yards and 52 touchdowns. I still don't know why this is happening. I actually don't understand this. I don't even know what to say. As for rushing, LaDainian Tomlinson led the entire nation with 1,936 yards and 20 touchdowns. Chris Johnson put up 1,430 yards and 15 touchdowns for ECU. Saquon had another great year with 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. And Barry Sanders finally gets on the board with 1,394 yards, 21 touchdowns. And then Todd Gurley and Gale Sayers also put up great years. But receiving yards is where things got really crazy. Michael Crabtree put up 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns for Texas Tech. Randy Moss had 1,253 yards and 8 touchdowns for Marshall. Devontae Smith had another great year with nearly 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. And Melvin Garbutt put up 10 touchdowns. Another fake guy, but the name alone, I had to say it. But when it came down to it, there was one player that stood above the rest. AJ Green put up 2,047 yards and 19 touchdowns on 120 receptions. And it would ultimately land him a Heisman Trophy. The top 5 in Heisman voting were AJ Green, Jalen Hurts, Peyton Manning, Johnny Manziel. And I changed Peyton Manning to a different player because that was very odd. That was so weird. I don't understand. But this is our official Peyton Manning. As for Auburn, we won every single game in the regular season, even a big win against LSU and Joe Burrow, 31-21 in week 9. And we even beat Alabama by 21 points, which is a huge win considering they just won the Natty. As for the college football playoff bracket, we do have a bye week in week 1, and Duke, Michigan, and Indiana all have bye weeks as well. And it looks like Barry Sanders has carried Oklahoma State to the playoffs as well, and Ashton Jeanty has carried Boise State to the playoffs. This should be a very interesting playoff bracket. And we will be taking on Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. If the game gets close, we're going to jump in. If it's close at all, we'll probably jump in at the end for sure. 7-7 though, and it looks like this is going to be a very close game. Auburn up 3 points. Georgia trying to match it, and they're up. 2 minutes remaining in the game. Georgia has the ball. Matt Stafford, Todd Gurley, Brady, A.J. Green, a stacked offense, and Todd Gurley's going to get the ball and go up the right side of the field for a huge first. I need Auburn to win the Natty here. Otherwise, I am 0 for 2, and if I don't get a prediction right next season, I have to give away $100 in gift cards to you guys. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this simulation today, dude. Why does that girl look horrified like they're ripping her in half? Oh my God. Todd Gurley getting the rock again. One of the best running backs of all time in college football. Oh my gosh, 4 yards, 3rd and 6. If Auburn gets to stop here on 3rd and 6, they're going to have a chance to tie up the game with a touchdown. If, of course, Georgia kicks the field goal and hits it. They're going to get the first, though. Oh my gosh. Auburn with no timeouts left. Georgia is going to beat them, and Cam Newton walks away with no rings this season. And we're gonna have a Texas A&M versus Georgia semifinal and Duke versus Michigan semifinal. Those should be interesting. We're gonna see how this Georgia-Texas A&M game goes. Texas A&M is gonna start off 7-0. I'm rooting for them because Georgia knocked us out of the playoffs, obviously. And Georgia's gonna be down by 7 points with a minute remaining in the game. Can Matt Stafford lead them downfield with Todd Gurley and the Heisman winner to tie up the game and then move on to the Natty? Matt Stafford 3rd and 3. If they don't get this, they're gonna have a short 4th down, but they're gonna get the first right there. They're taking their sweet time moving upfield. They're going to have to spike it right here, and they're going to have about 40 seconds to get downfield. 2nd and 10 for Georgia. They're in the shotgun formation. Throwing it deep left, and he's going to complete it to A.J. Green. Oh, it's getting reviewed, and they call that a first for Georgia. Wow. Matt Stafford, once again, back to pass. He throws the zig route to his slot receiver, who's going to go out of bounds at the 18. Stafford with a chance to tie it here against Texas A&M. He's looking over the middle. He's going to throw a first down. 26 seconds on the clock. They got to spike it again. Matt Stafford audibling his receivers around. Can he tie up the game against Texas A&M here in the semifinal? He throws an out route. He trucks a guy and he gets in the end zone. We're going to be in OT. That was a filthy move by the Georgia receiver. And I've been stuck in some type of time loop for the past 3 minutes now. Overtime's just not loading. Is this my own version of hell? I just have to watch EA players glitch out for an hour? Okay, well, apparently Georgia won. I wish the game would have let me watch. But now we have a Michigan versus Georgia national championship. And Georgia's going to be down 10 here in the 4th quarter with 1 minute left. They keep finding themselves in this situation, but they keep winning. But can Matt Stafford beat Charles Woodson on defense and Tom Brady on offense? That is going to be very interesting to see. He's going to throw a first down on the first play here, though. Another big play for Stafford. We'll see what he can do. Deep down the field, first down. Stafford, he has the Heisman winner, A.J. Green, on the bottom of the screen right now. We'll see if he looks his way. He's going to look his way. He's going to throw it to him, and A.J. Green has a first. 2nd goal here for Georgia. They're going to need to get this, and they're going to have to get the onside kick attempt. So this is going to be very interesting. He does score the touchdown, and even with this point after attempt, though, they're down 3 points, and they have to recover this onside kick to have a chance. Onside kick is up, and Michigan's going to recover it. Tom Brady is going to kneel this game out, and Michigan wins the national championship. Also, I know Tom Brady isn't the best Michigan player ever. That's why we have Charles Woodson there. I'm putting Tom Brady there just to see what a prime Tom Brady would have looked like at Michigan. Michigan wins their first national championship, and with 1 more season to go, it would be very entertaining to see an Alabama versus Michigan national championship to break the tie. And for my 3rd and final season of this simulation, I'm going with Texas to either win a national championship or have a Heisman winner. We have Ricky Williams on the team, one of the best running backs in college football history, and we have Vince Young, one of the most iconic QBs in college football history. One of them has to win this, right? Ricky Williams is obviously one of the best running backs in college football history, so I really hope one of these guys can carry us to a Heisman, because a backfield of Ricky Williams and Vince Young should be absolutely disgusting. I mean, I can't even imagine something like this in real life. It would have been so nuts, as we're going to throw a deep bomb for a completion. We got to keep handing this rock off to Ricky Williams. We got to let Ricky run, see if he can do anything. Huge juke up the middle, and we're going to be gone for a touchdown. Wow. And we're just going to keep handing this rock off to Ricky Williams. We want to score at least 1 more touchdown with the guys. I have to see it. Oh my God, what a disgusting stiff arm. We're going to see what my GOAT Vince Young can do on the run. First down to the tight end. We got to see this man's deep ball. I have to see it. I simply have to see it. Let's launch it deep. Oh, he was hit, but it's a completion. None of our picks so far have won a Heisman or won the Natty, so I just want to see someone do it finally. Texas, hopefully Go Horns can get it done. If not, it's forever, for life. Vince Young, once again, got a man wide open. If he can get to the end zone, that's a touchdown, and it's so close. He's in. And we ultimately win week 1 24-20. And now it's time to simulate the final of our 3 seasons and see what happens. Tell me your predictions down below, boys. I want to know who you think is going to win this final Heisman and the final national championship. And in our final season, QBs, wide receivers, and running backs went off more than ever before. And safe to say, it was a season for the ages. Vince Young passed for 3,536 yards and 31 touchdowns with 6 picks. Ricky Williams put up another 1,448 yards on the ground and 20 more touchdowns. But players across the league had even more crazy seasons. Marcus Mariota put up 3,619 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 4 picks. Jameis Winston had another great season with 3,477 yards and 25 touchdowns with 3 picks. Andrew Luck put up 3,062 yards and 20 touchdowns. Michael Vick had 2,961 yards and 18 touchdowns. And Lamar Jackson had another 2,859-yard passing season with 25 touchdowns and 2 picks. But the best QB again this year was Jalen Hurts with 4,902 passing yards, 48 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions to lead the league in passing. As for rushing, Eric Dickerson led the legends with 1,564 rushing yards and 29 touchdowns. Reggie Bush wasn't far behind him with 1,535 yards and 14 touchdowns. Saquon put up another 1,403 yards and 9 touchdowns, and Derrick Henry put up 1,391 yards and 28 touchdowns. One of the greatest seasons of all time. And the leading receiver for the legends was Julio Jones with 1,480 yards and 9 touchdowns. But Calvin Johnson had a respectable season with 1,135 yards and 14 touchdowns. And Tim Brown only had 708 yards and 7 touchdowns for Notre Dame. Meanwhile, AJ Green had another good season, putting up 1,115 yards and 6 touchdowns. And up to this point, we still haven't really seen any legends do anything on defense at all. But Patrick Peterson had another 7 picks, and I think he's up to like 20 now in this simulation, which is just crazy. But ultimately, the Heisman Trophy would go to Jalen Hurts for a second time in this simulation. If Texas would not do great this year, we would win our first 4 games, even winning 161-17, and we beat South Carolina 52-17, but we lost to Peyton Manning in Tennessee, we lost to Baker Mayfield in Oklahoma, and we got pummeled by Alabama and Auburn, going 7-5 on the season and missing the playoffs. So I have to do the giveaway. Be sure to comment down below, Dom, do QB legends next to get in on the giveaway. The college football playoff bracket, though, has some interesting teams, as Tulane and Washington have now entered the race, and TCU, Alabama, Tennessee, and Oregon all have first-round byes. But ultimately, in the end, it is Georgia and Alabama in the national championship, with Alabama now having a chance to win their 2nd title in this video. If Jalen Hurts wins this, he'll have 2 Heismans and 2 national championships in this video, which means he'll be the GOAT by far for this simulation. First possession for Jalen Hurts and Alabama. We'll see what they can do with the rock here. I'm very excited to see if we can see a 2-time national championship winner in this video. They have a stacked offense, though, with Julio, who has the wrong number, by the way, Devontae, Jalen Hurts, and Derrick Henry. Jalen Hurts back to pass again. Can they pick up another first down? It's batted. 3rd and 7 for Jalen Hurts. He's going to be passing again. He throws it over the middle for a first. Past the 50, down on the 30. Another pass play for Alabama here. Jalen Hurts is going to roll up in the pocket. He's going to have a huge lane for a first down. He's going to keep running. He slides down at the 11. Another pass play for Alabama, but Jalen Hurts is going to roll up, slide again, 3rd and 8. One more pass play over the middle. Alabama takes the lead over Georgia. For the remainder of the game, we'd have an absolute shootout between Alabama and Georgia, with Georgia pulling ahead late in the game. 4th and 15 for Alabama here. This is going to be their final chance to win this, and Jalen Hurts to cement himself as a 2-time champion. All the time in the pocket. He's going to throw it short, and that is going to be game. Georgia is going to win the national championship. But I need you guys to tell me 2 things down below. Who was the GOAT player during the simulation, and who was the GOAT team? I'm going to have to say Jalen Hurts for player, but as for team, I'm thinking Georgia. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. I would appreciate that so much. It helps this video get out to more people. This took so long to make between putting all the players in, recording, and now editing it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to subscribe. Don't miss any videos. I have to do that giveaway. And one final thing I'll ask of you is comment down below a college football team and their best players ever, because I'm going to keep adding to this list. Next up is going to be QBs. So tell me a team and their best QB ever, and I'll be sure to add that for the next video. If you guys enjoyed this video, though, be sure to watch this one right here. I promise you'll enjoy it, and I will see you there in a second. Tell someone you love them today, boys. I love you. Have a good day.